I noticed him because my body reacted before my brain did. That annoyed me. It was supposed to be a normal night. A friend's birthday. Loud bar. Too many people. Nothing special. Then he walked in, and everything in me shifted. He didn't scan the room like he was looking for approval. He didn't smile for anyone. He stood there like he already knew where he belonged. That confidence hit me low, and immediately, I told myself not to stare. I failed. When our eyes met, he didn't look away. He held my gaze. Slow. Deliberate. Like he was deciding something. My pulse kicked up. "Do you know him?" my friend asked. "No," I said too quickly. That was my first lie of the night. He came closer. Not directly. Circling. Talking to people. Laughing. But every time I shifted, he was there. Watching. Aware. I went to the bar. He was already there. "Vodka?" he asked, nodding at my empty glass. I raised an eyebrow. "You buying?" "Only if you stop pretending you didn't notice me," he said. My mouth went dry. "That confident, huh?" I asked. He smiled. "Only when I'm right." I should have walked away. Instead, I stayed. "I'm not looking for anything," I said. He leaned in slightly, close enough for me to feel the heat from his body. "Good," he replied. "Neither am I." That was worse. We talked. Fast. Sharp. No small talk. He challenged me. I pushed back. Every word felt like a step closer to a line neither of us had crossed yet. "What's your name?" I asked. He paused. "Not yet," he said. "Names make things real." My chest tightened. "So what is this?" I asked. His eyes dropped to my mouth, then back up. "This," he said quietly, "is control." And suddenly, I wasn't sure who had it. Someone bumped into me. I lost my balance for half a second. He caught my arm. Firm. Certain. His thumb pressed into my skin as it belonged there. Neither of us moved. The music felt too loud. "The room is too close." "You okay?" he asked. "Yes," I said. I wasn't. He let go slowly. Not because he had to. Because he chose to. "That's dangerous," I said. His smile deepened. "I know." He leaned in, voice low. "If you stay," he said. "We both stop pretending this doesn't mean something." My heart slammed. "And if I leave?" I asked. He stepped back, then said the one thing that ruined me. "Then I'll let you." I didn't leave, and that's how I knew. This wasn't an attraction. This was the beginning of something that was going to cost me control. I didn't leave with him. That surprised both of us. When the bar started to close, people drifted toward the doors and ride-apps. He stayed where he was, watching me, not impatient, not hopeful, certain. "You're thinking too hard," he said. I laughed once. "You don't know me well enough to say that." "I know your shoulders tense when you lie," he replied. "And you haven't relaxed since I walked in." My chest tightened. "You always read people this easily?" I asked. "Only the ones who don't want to be read," he said. We walked outside together. Cold air. Quieter street. He stopped under a streetlight. Didn't crowd me. Didn't reach. That restraint was worse than any touch. "You don't usually hesitate," he said. "Neither do you," I shot back. He smiled. "No," he agreed. "I don't." Then he stepped closer. Not close enough to touch. Close enough to make it impossible not to notice. "What do you want?" I asked. He looked at me like the answer was obvious. "I want to see what happens when you stop holding yourself back," he said. My pulse thudded. "And you?" he asked. "What do you want?" I opened my mouth. Closed it. That was enough. He lifted his hand. Stopped inches from my jaw. Didn't touch. "Tell me to stop," he said quietly. I didn't. His thumb brushed my chin. Just once. Light. Intentional. Every nerve in my body reacted. I sucked in a breath. He noticed. Of course he did. "That's control," he said softly. "Not touching when you want to." I hated how right he was. I stepped back. Not because I wanted distance. Because I needed air. "You do this on purpose," I said. Yes, he replied. Because you like it. My jaw tightened. I don't even know your name, I said. He leaned in, this time closer. So ask me, he said. What's your name? I asked. A beat. Julian, he said. The way he said it mattered. Like he was giving me something. I repeated it quietly. Julian. His eyes darkened. Careful, he said. Now it's real. We stood there for another moment. Neither of us is moving. Neither of us is breaking it. Then he stepped back. Not tonight, he said. But soon. Soon what? I asked. He smiled. You won't wonder who has control anymore, he replied. He turned and walked away. Didn't look back. Didn't need to. I stood there long after he left. Heart racing. Body buzzing. Knowing one thing for certain. I wasn't in danger of falling. I was already leaning. I didn't plan to see him again. That was another lie. I felt him before I saw him. That same awareness. That same pull. I turned, and there he was, across the room, leaning against the bar like he'd been waiting. Julian. He didn't smile. He lifted his glass slightly. A question. I answered it by walking toward him. Told you it wouldn't be tonight, he said. You're confident, I replied. He leaned in just enough for me to hear him over the music. I'm patient, he corrected. There's a difference. We didn't talk much. We didn't need to. Everything between us was already loud. Come with me, he said, not demanding, certain. I hesitated. Just a second. He noticed. Always. You can say no, he said quietly. But don't pretend you want to. That did it. I nodded. His place was close. Too close. The elevator ride was silent. Not awkward. Charged. I could feel my heartbeat in my throat. Inside, he stopped near the door. Didn't touch me. Didn't crowd me. That restraint again. Before anything happens, he said, look at me. I did. Really looked. His eyes weren't playful now. They were steady. Serious. This isn't about control anymore, he said. It's about what? My breath caught. And if I want you? I asked. Then don't hold back, he replied. I stepped closer. This time I closed the distance. Not fast. Not rushed. Intentional. When I kissed him, it wasn't careful. It wasn't soft. It was firm. Like weeks of tension breaking all at once. His hand came to my jaw. Not claiming. Anchoring. He kissed me back without hesitation. Deepened it. Not overpowering. Matching me. Every part of me reacted. Heat. Relief. Want. We broke apart just enough to breathe. His forehead rested against mine. Still think you had control? He asked softly. I smiled. No, I admitted. I think I stopped needing it. He kissed me again. Slower. Certain. And this time, there was no question left between us. When we finally pulled away, my hands were still shaking. Not from fear. From recognition. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a lapse. This was something I had chosen. Fully. Morning light has a way of changing things. It makes moments honest. Unavoidable. Julian was already awake when I opened my eyes. Sitting at the edge of the bed. Shirt on. Calm. Like the night before hadn't unsettled him at all. That irritated me. You always this composed? I asked. He glanced back at me. Only when I'm not pretending, he said. I sat up slowly. So what happens now? I asked. He didn't answer right away. That was new. Now, he said finally, we decide whether last night was a moment or a direction. That landed. Harder than I expected. I dressed quietly, not rushing, not hiding. When I turned back to him, he was watching me the same way he had the first night. Attentive, focused, but different, less controlled. You didn't disappear, I said. No, he replied. And neither did you. Something passed between us. Respect. We walked out together. Daylight. People everywhere. No secrecy. No distance. That felt louder than the kiss ever had. At the corner, he stopped. I don't chase, he said calmly. But I also don't play games. I met his eyes. Good, I replied. Neither do I. He smiled. Not sharp, warm, and that unsettled me more than his confidence ever had. The days after were different. He didn't text constantly. Neither did I. But when we talked, it mattered. Short messages. Direct. Dinner tonight? Tomorrow works. No questions hiding inside questions. When we met again, it wasn't charged the same way. It was grounded. We sat across from each other. No tension pulling us apart. Just awareness pulling us closer. You seem quieter, I said. He nodded. I'm paying attention, he replied. There's a difference. I realized then what had changed. The night before, control had been the game. Now, control was irrelevant. What mattered was intention. When he reached for my hand across the table, he didn't hesitate. Didn't test. Didn't wait for permission. Just held it. Firm. Present. And for the first time since meeting him, I felt it clearly. This wasn't about losing control anymore. It was about choosing where to place it. It stopped being just us. That was the problem. Julian and I existed easily in private. Too easily. But the outside world has a way of pressing in when something matters. I ran into someone who knew him, by accident, at a cafe across town. You know Julian? The guy asked casually. I nodded. Yeah. We've met. He smirked. Careful, he said. He doesn't stay long. That stayed with me. That night I brought it up. Not accusing. Just honest. People say you don't do this, I said. Julian leaned back against the counter. They're not wrong, he replied. My chest tightened. So what is this? I asked. He didn't dodge it. That's the question, he said. And I won't lie to you. He stepped closer. Not crowding. Grounded. I don't repeat patterns, he continued. And I don't promise things I can't keep. I swallowed. And me? I asked. His jaw tightened. You're different, he said. But difference still comes with risk. That hurt, because it was true. I didn't pull away, but something shifted. Desire wasn't enough anymore. A few days passed. We didn't text, didn't chase. Space crept in where tension used to live. When we finally met again, it wasn't electric. It was serious. I'm not asking you to change, I said. But I won't stay where I'm just an option. Julian exhaled slowly. That's fair, he said. Then he surprised me. I'm scared, he admitted. Not of you, of choosing something that could change me. I studied him. The confidence was still there, but so was honesty. I don't want half of you, I said, and I won't give you half of me. He nodded once. Then don't, he said quietly. We stood there. No touching. No softening the truth. Just reality. Give me time, he said finally. Not distance. Time. I considered it, then nodded. One chance, I replied. When he reached for my hand this time, it wasn't instinct. It was an intention, and that made all the difference. Julian didn't disappear. That mattered more than anything else. He didn't text every hour. He didn't overwhelm me with promises. But he showed up, consistently, intentionally, like a man who knew he was deciding something important. A week later, he asked me to come over. Not late, not spontaneous, planned. That alone told me everything. When I walked in, he didn't reach for me right away. He looked nervous. I'd never seen that before. I've been thinking, he said. I crossed my arms. Waited. I don't want to keep living like nothing gets close, he continued. And I don't want to pretend what's between us is just attraction. My chest tightened. I don't either, I said. He stepped closer. This time there was no game in it. No testing. Just honesty. I choose you, he said. Not because it's easy, because it's real. That landed harder than any kiss. I didn't answer with words. I closed the distance. The kiss wasn't restrained. It wasn't careful. It was deliberate. His hand slid to the back of my neck, grounding me, pulling me in as he meant it. I felt it everywhere. Heat, relief, certainty. He kissed me like a decision. Not like a moment. When we finally pulled back, his forehead rested against mine. "I'm not going anywhere," he said quietly. I smiled. "Good," I replied. "Neither am I." After that, things settled into something solid. Not dramatic, strong. We showed up together. We stayed. Weeks later, we walked into the same bar where we first met. This time, he reached for my hand openly. No hesitation, no watching the room, just us. "You good?" he asked. I squeezed his hand. "Yeah," I said. "I am." I realized then what had really changed. I didn't lose control with him. I gave it willingly, and he treated it like something worth keeping. He wasn't the man who made me lose control. He was the man I trusted with it.